Welcome to I'm Your Target Demographic, and today I'm going to try to explain something that's a little confusing and something I'm not an expert in, so check out the comments for any clarification or errors. I'll try my best. The idea of cryptocurrency has been around since the 1980s, a way to spend and earn money without a central bank and available worldwide. We're going to talk mostly about Bitcoin today, but there are hundreds, maybe even thousands, of different brands of cryptocurrency that are more or less similar. Bitcoin as a brand was started in 2009 by an online personality called Satoshi Nakamoto, which is a pseudonym for either one mystery person or a group of users. To this day, no one knows. This user created a decentralized process for transferring money without any bank or central system. You can purchase Bitcoin with any currency, and then you have total freedom how to use it. When you pay for a service or pay a person, your transaction is logged into a public ledger, something available to the world to see. There are people who are constantly validating these transactions, making sure that the users have the funds available and making sure that the transaction was approved by the sender. This is a very complicated process and one that can make your head spin if you go too far into it, but I'll try to explain it simply. Again, there is no bank covering these transactions, so it's all up to the individuals to track their payments on this ledger. But anyone can edit this public ledger, so you have to be careful, or someone could just say, so-and-so pays me $200. To make sure that that doesn't happen, layers upon layers of security have been built and are maintained by people called miners, who work tirelessly to validate the security layers in place and validate the transactions. Each transaction has a public key and a private key, which is recommended to be different for different transactions. Only the person who knows the private key can authorize payments, so no one else can claim to be them. It's almost like an electronic signature of sorts. Each transaction also has an identifier, meaning you can't copy the message multiple times and hope to get multiple payments. If I authorize a payment, it's good for that transaction only. If you lose this private key, it won't allow anyone to access the funds and they're essentially lost. One user lost over $7 million because of a lost key. This system is also fairly anonymous in the way that you have a Bitcoin address, but it's not necessarily tied to your real name. They can track payments, which means it's technically not anonymous, but more pseudonymous, meaning people can track the account but not necessarily who it belongs to. More and more Bitcoin systems are starting to actually require real-life identification due to high usage of Bitcoin in illegal activities. Now, this sounds complicated, but apps and programs have hidden a lot of this behind an easy-to-use interface that manages all of these keys for you. Just like how you don't necessarily need to understand routing numbers and your bank's process to handle transactions, it all just seamlessly works. Now, earlier I mentioned miners, people who work to validate and authenticate these transactions. These people aren't literally looking at transactions and saying yes or no, but they're completing complicated math problems that help to verify transactions and make them secure. Again, way above my head. These miners, in exchange for their work, get rewarded with new Bitcoins that are created, so there's a financial incentive. Now, this became extremely popular, so more people started doing it. They started creating computers specifically built to run these programs quickly, and individuals even started to come together into pools in which they could work as a team and get more rewards to help compete with tech-heavy businesses that might be mining at a higher rate than one individual could compete against. But before you dive into wanting to become a miner, it can cost thousands of dollars to build or buy a computer that can do this efficiently. And because there are so many miners, you'll be lucky to break even if you're just starting. Now, people are buying Bitcoins like crazy lately, and that means the worth of each Bitcoin goes up. In 2017, an upward spike propelled each Bitcoin from about $1,000 US to over 13,000 US dollars. This means people that earned early Bitcoins have made some incredible money just by watching these prices skyrocket. It's since dropped again quite significantly, so the ups and downs of this currency can be turbulent. So what are the other downsides of Bitcoin? Well, I already discussed it's hard to make money mining, and buying a Bitcoin now would be extremely expensive. Sometimes people also perceive this money as off the grid, but it's actually money that you need to claim on your taxes, and failing to do so might actually get people charged with tax evasion. Bitcoin has also been used on the dark web for a lot of illegal activities because people think it's truly anonymous, but the FBI has targeted Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies and is watching closely for opportunities to pinpoint an identity for some of these users. And now let's think about what businesses actually accept Bitcoin. Is it possible to use this only? A lot of businesses do, sure, but it's becoming tricky. In some US states, the fee to accept Bitcoins is over $5,000 and is a lengthy contract, which may not be worth the time. There's also the problem of no insurance or guarantees on these purchases. With a middleman like a bank, they might help refund any money that you've lost or has been stolen. With Bitcoin, if you purchase something and the seller doesn't deliver, even if it's malicious, there is no one to help you and the payment cannot be reversed. Also, like I mentioned earlier, a technical malfunction and the loss of your private key can result in money disappearing in an instant. So there are a lot of ups and downs. For early adopters of Bitcoin, this past year has been a wild ride. But newcomers to Bitcoin may be risking a lot, especially if they don't understand all of the systems at play. Do you think this model of verified public ledgers is sustainable? Does Bitcoin have a future, or is it a fad? Sound off in the comments, and thanks for watching.